2 seminars going on, but you
Made the right choice. This is where the action is. It's all about social media.
That's what you're going to say in the other room.
Yeah, that's right.
inform social media
Marketing. I know each of these speakers, but I don't have their bios in hand, so I'm going to ask each of them to give a self-introduction, maybe take a couple of minutes to introduce themselves and their organization and the value that they're going to share with you today. And our format today is I'm going to pose some questions to each of them and then turn it back to all of you for a discussion. We want this to be an interactive session on social media today. So Bill DeRosa, Mike Levichon, and Cindy Cavuto.
So I'm going to ask to start with you, Bill, with a brief introduction and move it over to Michael.
Sure. Well, my name is Bill DeRosa. I'm president and co-founder of Talking Finger, a social media marketing agency. And we specialize in strategic implementation of social media, whereas we define who your target audience is, and then we determine which social networks to be on, and then, of course, what to say on them, how to say it, how to get an ROI. And we're very strong on trying to push ROI with social media marketing, which is one of the elements that's been missing for so long, of having conversations and not actually making any kind of sales from it. Those were the old days. The new days are with analytics and the ability to integrate into all the other marketing. There is an ROI to be had if it's done strategically and with a plan directed to a target audience.
I'm not going to talk that much.
Okay.
But
I'll take this time.
Yeah, anyway. My name is Mike Liebenson. I own a company called Video Active Productions, and we make videos, but it's really kind of bridging the gap between Google search engine optimization, video, social media. My big thing is helping people figure out how to create content, and I just happen to think video is one of the best ways to make content these days, and it's the hot thing. And that's all I got for now.
Good. Next, Mike. Cindy?
Thank you. My name is Cindy Cavuto. I'm the chief fire starter for Firebrand Social Media, is the name of my company. And what I do is I help small business owners and entrepreneurs navigate social media. Maybe they've been in business for several years, they know they need to implement social media, but don't know where to start. So what we do is we give you a little taste with packages of developing a strategy, figuring out what platform to use, much like Bill, but on a smaller level, and we implement and set up the plan for you. So it's kind of like what Bill does to an extent, but on a smaller level. That's it. Cindy Cavuto, Firebrand Social Media.
First question is, how does social media affect how your website shows up in Google? What's the connection between social media and how your website shows up?
We put the
You can answer that.
Cindy, yeah, that's
Okay.
Cindy's forte.
So as far as think of your website as the nucleus. So your website is where you want them to go inevitably. So social media, all the websites of social media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, you want to draw them to your website. And it helps when you have social media social media platforms, because what happens is Google really likes them and will pull them up to the top. So a lot of times when you type in, if you type in, for example, Firebrand Social Media, you'll see a lot of times my website will come up, but my social media, my Facebook, my Twitter, my LinkedIn will come along right up with it. So it's very important. It helps pull you up in the organic search, which enables people to find you when they're looking for social media or whatever the business is. You want to add?
Well, I was just thinking, as yesterday or the other day, I was looking for a bakery. I was looking for, the bakery in Ansonia. I couldn't remember if it was actually open or not anymore, because I know something had burned down over there. It was
Latex foam.
no, it was like the secondhand shop.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so I'm looking. I typed in bakery Ansonia in my phone into Google, and I found their website. I went to the website, and it like didn't go anywhere. It was broken. But then the Facebook page showed up. So it's just interesting. The thing that I think is the reason why you need to be in social media is because not just your website is getting indexed in the Google search these days. Your Facebook page. I'm not sure if LinkedIn's showing up.
Yep.
Google Plus is huge.
Yeah, so you need to have, and then if you're a local business, the map listing is crucial too. So you need to have a comprehensive approach, or you're missing out.
And a lot of it's content driven too. Making sure that when you write a blog, it's backlinked to your website. Making sure that when you optimize your social networks, and that's the thing that a lot of people forget to do, is the optimization of your social network itself. When, for example, Facebook, there's an about section. Well, if you're only going to fill out the general description on Facebook and you're not going to go into the mission statement section and all these other things and optimize it with keywords, people forget that a Facebook page, for example, gets indexed just like your website. So any keywords that you would use on your website, make sure they appear also in the about section of Facebook too. Same thing with Google+, same thing with LinkedIn. People do not fill out enough information on their social networks so that they get indexed by Google and Bing. Especially Bing and Facebook are partners now. So things like that have to be done. Optimization is key these days, and it's not just your website, it's your social media.
And one other thing, you mentioned backlinks. That's a good reminder for me, because so all these social media sites like Facebook, YouTube, they have a lot of clout, like especially YouTube. That's where I spend a lot of my time. So if I do videos on YouTube and I put my link to my website in the description of the video, now I have a backlink from YouTube to my website. I have a couple clients where I did nothing but YouTube videos for them, pointing to their website, and I got their website on page 1 for a lot of terms.
Right.
So that's you're leveraging these big sites, because a link from a big site to your little site is huge. It's a thumbs up.
This is not part of the script, but I just listened to a story over the weekend about the rise of YouTube in this generation. I have a 17-year-old as of today. Is watching YouTube, pleasure. Not watching television anymore. Put the discussion, this is a little off topic, but it's really directed at conventional advertising.
Right.
National advertisers are trying to come to grips with this. Do we continue to advertise with the networks, or do we advertise with YouTube? And then some debate about whether or not you can hold the attention of the audience, because generally before the YouTube you see the commercial, right? Comment on that. What's happening?
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely, I mean, we're such a mobile community. We're such a mobile world now. People aren't sitting in front of the couch. And even when they are sitting in the couch, they're looking at their iPad or their iPhone and looking at further videos about it. So TV commercials are still going to be great for big brands, because really they're the only ones that can really afford to have a national or even a local TV presence. But when you talk about being, like Mike said, being able to make a video and having it on your channel and having it linked to your website, man, that's just as powerful. And especially for local search, things are starting to become even more localized now. Small Business Saturday is in 2 weeks or whatever. But these kind of localization of having your own video backlinked to your website is key, because that's how people are looking for content and information, not just sitting on a couch watching TV. So you have to hit them every way you can.
No, I absolutely agree. With videos, I mean, there's a video about everything. Every business can make a video of some kind.
Yes.
Whether it's your brand, your product, how to do something, when to do something, events, anything. So, be creative and realize that there's plenty of opportunity with YouTube. It's not just, my product or my ad. Be creative. There's lots of different uses for it and lots of ways to link back to your site that will help you.
YouTube's owned by Google. I mean, in case somebody didn't know that, I think everybody knows that, but YouTube is owned by Google. Simple.
I won't be surprised if they put the cable companies out of business one of these days.
It could be.
It's like
Except for
that.
big budgets.
Why should everyone, regardless of what industry they are in, have a LinkedIn profile? Why should I have a LinkedIn profile?
Want to start that?
Oh, I love that one.
Yep.
I have a lot of clients who come to me and say, well, I'm B2C. I don't need a LinkedIn page. And I say, you absolutely need a LinkedIn page. Anybody needs a LinkedIn page. For example, when people want to work with me and use my services, a lot of times they'll say to me, are you on LinkedIn? Why? They want to know who I am. They want to know, do I have recommendations? Do I have an education? What are my clients saying about me? Those kinds of things. Am I even updating my page? I had somebody say to me, well, geez, I've spoken to a few other social media companies. You're the only one that actually updates your LinkedIn page. Really? That's scary.
She's right.
Right? I mean, they don't walk the walk.
I see so many of them.
And the pages are dead. So anyway, my point is, think of it as your online resume. It makes you credible. It makes you who you are. It lets them know that, gee, this person's credible. They know what they're talking about. So no matter what kind of business, whether you're B2B or B2C, you need a LinkedIn profile. And like Bill was saying, fill it out. And if you're not good at that, I actually have a writer on staff who writes LinkedIn profiles professionally. So that if you don't know how to say it nicely, you don't know how to place keywords, she can help you with
What if
that.
the word is embellished?
Yes. Yes.
And the other thing is, we're all individual brands. That's changed dramatically in the last few years and such, is you need to brand yourself. You are your own company. I don't care who you work for or anything else like that. You have a vested interest in making sure that your personal brand is out there and it's optimized, and everything is the way that you want other people to see. And it's very important. I agree 100%. Everybody should have a good optimized LinkedIn profile. And as far as businesses, you should also have a good optimized LinkedIn business page. Trust me, you don't get much action out of it. There's almost no ROI on the LinkedIn company page and everything else. But it gives a branded presence for the company behind the individual as well.
I just did my page about a month ago.
Yes, you did. I was very proud of you.
The guy that doesn't update his stuff. But real quick, so the way I handle it, when I meet somebody new, I always I put them in my database, and then the next thing I go is go to LinkedIn, because I want to at least do that. Even though I'm not too active on LinkedIn, I want to see who they're connected to. And it's a great, like Facebook, I don't always want to friend somebody that I just met. That's not really appropriate. But LinkedIn is always appropriate, because it's just a way, it's who you're linked to. That's really how I look at it.
Absolutely.
Online networking,
Yeah.
which is really social media,
It is.
described.
Next question. How important is it to measure analytics in social media?
Yeah, I'll take that one. Analytics, I'm sorry, if you're a marketer in any way, shape, or form, I don't even care, forget about social media, I don't even care about social media right now. If you are a marketer and you are spending dollars on marketing, whether it's print, radio, and you are not measuring your analytics, shame on you. Simple as that. If you don't know where your money is going in advertising and marketing because you're not reading analytics, you're wasting money. It's simple as that. Going back to social media, man, every single social network has awesome analytics dashboards. They blow away things that I used to have to spend $5,000 or $6,000 on a few years ago for dashboards to correlate data and information and metrics that are coming in. The amount of data is it's astounding now. And if you take that data and you look at the content you're putting out there and you compare the content to the data of where it's reaching, who it's going to, you can make correlations within 2 or 3 months of implementing a social media plan, make correlations and know exactly what content should be produced. And if you think about the time savings and money savings over time, content is probably the most expensive part of social media. It's the most time consuming everything else. And really what you're measuring when you're measuring analytics is content. Really that's what analytics comes down to, is what you're saying and how far it's going and how people are reacting to it. So if you're not reading analytics, really you're wasting a lot of money. And if you don't understand analytics, hire a professional. It's worth to have somebody just even consult you for a month and teach you what's called the KPI, the key point indicators in your analytics, so that you can then do it yourself. But even Google it. Even if you don't hire a consultant, I don't care if you never call us or any of us up here to look at analytics. Google analytics for social media and learn it. It's vitally important, especially going on.
One of the you get asked a lot, what's the best time to post on Facebook,
Oh
right?
God, yeah.
And what's your answer?
My answer for the best time of when to post on Facebook is what your analytics tell you. It's great to go by these silly infographics that are out there that you see every once in a while. What's the best time to tweet? What's the best time to post to Facebook? They're all BS, okay? They're good. Most of the time they're based on national brands, which is not your audience. Your own metrics will tell you exactly when to post, when to tweet, when to Google+, anything else like that. Everything else it's a good starting point. When you look at those infographics and stuff, best times to tweet, best time, they're good starting points. But you have to look at your own analytics, and that will tell you when's the best time to post, period.
I have clients who ask me the same thing, and they'll say what's the best time for Twitter? And I'll say, okay, well, it depends. Like sometimes between 6 and 8 in the morning. But again, it depends on what your brand is. If you're catering to stay-home moms or those kinds of people, it's a different time frame. What I do is on Facebook, the Facebook Insights, I look at those. And guess when the best time is where people read my Facebook posts? 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That doesn't go with what the standards are at all. But guess what? I wouldn't have known that had I not looked. So same thing for you. You know, there's Facebook Insights, there's Google Analytics, which is a monster of information that's free. You know, it might be a little tough to read. You're going to have to read through it, but the information is great. It'll tell you where your traffic is coming from. You know, which social media sites are drawing back to your website, which is important.
And YouTube, you were done?
Yes, go ahead.
A very big thing with YouTube, when you're trying to get a video to show up higher than other videos or in the search engines, one of the biggest factors nowadays is view time. So if somebody, and this goes for websites too, if somebody sees the way you've titled it and they click on it and then 2 seconds later they're hitting the back button, Google's going to penalize you and YouTube's going to penalize you. They're not going to, you know, they're going to say that you're not all that relevant for that search term. So how you find this out, you know, when you do a video and you go into the YouTube analytics, you can see at what point they dropped off, and it's usually like after like 3 or 4 seconds the curve goes down. You know, and it's amazing. My wife's a wedding photographer, and she has a video she shot. It's a boring slideshow video of like 300 pictures from when she was doing a destination wedding in the Dominican Republic. And I couldn't believe it's like a 45-minute video, and like 75% of the people watch the whole video through. So it comes down to demographics. So in this case, the people that are watching this video are probably thinking about going there, and they're going to watch every second of that video. Me, I would never do that. That's like 45 minutes of wedding video, of not even video, it's pictures.
I haven't even looked at my
Wedding
own
video.
in 10 years.
People that you don't know. Yeah, exactly.
So
It's like someone else's.
there's cool little insights. Knowing who your target market is and seeing their behaviors lets you adjust the next time you go spend money. If you're going to spend time producing content, like Bill
Measure
said,
it.
you're wasting your time if
Yeah.
you're not like being
Measure it.
scientific about it.
And I'm serious, I used to spend $5,000 for Meltwater Buzz and One-to-One Engage and all these dashboards years ago to get this information. And now it's all basically free. That dashboard that I bought for $5,000 a few years ago is useless at this point because all the analytics of all the social networks they improved to that point now. So it's amazing. Do you want to do Q&A for a
Yeah,
minute?
let's take some questions, and rather than just questions too, you know, maybe we can share some best practices. I know we have some veteran businesses, some upstart businesses, so let's take some questions, and then we're going to draw a few of you out to share with us what you're doing in your company. Linda, from Curtis Ryan?
I just have a question. I work for Curtis Ryan Honda, and Honda's nice enough to send us, obviously, YouTube videos that we post on our site. But we've tried to post ourselves where we've taken, you know, videos of the dealership. And every time we're not allowed to put them up because there's trademark and copyright infringements. How do you get around that?
That's a good one. You're actually getting them taken down?
Yep.
You put them up and they get taken down.
Wait, you're filming them.
Yes.
What are you putting in the content that, why would
It's
they?
just like if we're taking pictures of the cars, so to them it's a copyright.
Is it Honda taking them down?
It's YouTube taking it down. They're saying that they keep sending us mail saying that it's trademark, you know, copyright infringement.
It's your company.
I've never heard that before. That's really odd, and I would definitely get in touch with Honda themselves
Okay.
or something and have them send you a letter or authorization or something, because it's kind of silly that YouTube would not allow you. You're a Honda dealer. I mean, if I was a Hyundai dealer and I was making bad videos about Honda,
Right.
then I could see it's a trademark, but you are Honda. I would seriously get in touch with Honda and see if you can get a letter of authorization from that you can send to YouTube. Because YouTube, they are pretty active. The social networks were horrible a few years ago with communication. They were terrible. Facebook was terrible. Facebook's still kind of terrible. But they actually starting to listen because they know they have a vested interest as a consumer for you to have a voice with them. So they have been really responsive. Like Google Plus I had an issue with, and I got a response from Google like a day and a half later, which is pretty, I mean, think of the size of the company, how many people talk. So I would seriously that's what I would think is to contact Honda and...
It almost sounds like something else is going on.
Yeah, that's what,
You know,
It's not
what's
even
odd to
like
me.
They need to give you a
Really just
reason.
like we were just trying to showcase our dealership and,
I mean, you sure, well, maybe talk to us afterwards, but there may be something else. But yeah, Bill's right, Google's gotten a lot better about giving you a process. It used to be you couldn't even contact them. You had to find it in a forum and hope they would chime in.
Yeah.
But now, like, if you need help, I can get you a contact.
This is to follow up on ROI, and it's top of my mind because I started using Constant Contact. And it's when you said something about the question of when's the best time to tweet and so on, one of the questions that the presenter for Constant Contact got was, when's the best time to send email? And again, they went with, go back to the analytics. So it counts, email is an extension of, or should be included in that kind of stuff when you're thinking about analytics and ROI.
Absolutely.
Your email is part of that too.
Yeah.
And it turns out, again, that you can tell, you can get your report back from Constant Contact, but when people are opening them and so on. And sometimes it's early in the morning, sometimes it's late at night, whatever. But
Yeah, and you're 100%. I mean, even I've been on Constant Contact for I don't even know how many years. I love Constant Contact for email and things like that. Their social media, I'll be honest, sucks. I think it's crap. But their email is still, I think it's still the best email service you can use for the most part. And their dashboard, their analytics are insane now, where just even a few years ago, their analytics were pretty weak. So for email and stuff, it's still analytics, all advertising. And I still count email marketing as part of ad marketing. Analytics are key for no matter what you do. It's key. We used to own a company years ago when I was the sales manager. And it was a little harder to ascertain when someone calls into your company to find out. I used to smack my salespeople if they didn't ask, where did you find us? That's the old adage. When a salesperson takes a call and it's a cold call coming into for a potential sale, the salesperson should say, where have you found us? You don't need to do that now in the digital world because the analytics and things will kind of tell you where those people came from. But I still smack salespeople around today. I only go by numbers and analytics and dashboards so much. There's still that human interaction of in conversation trying to find, because analytics can't always tell you exactly ROI and where things came from point A to point B. So I'm still a big believer when you have someone on the phone is to still ask them, how did you hear from us? And it backs up data. If you look at data and you talk to people, you can still build correlations to where people found you and stuff. So
It also gives you their perception of how they found you.
Exactly, because they may think they found you somewhere else, but
That's a good point. Or what was the thing that they saw
that interested
prompted
them.
them? Like, there's all these cool things we can see, like where you're hovering your cursor on the web page and all this crazy
Right.
stuff. But yeah, you need the human. You need to ask.
I'm a new business with a big flower shop, and I'm trying to tap into the market. And of course, we know we have these big wire services that we're competing with. And I was talking with somebody because I approached Stratford Patch to say I was doing an ad on Stratford Patch as against Google pay-per-clicks, or these are companies that they can charge like $200 a month for X amount of clicks and that kind of thing. And one of the argument that the gentleman used with me when I was telling him I was considering the Stratford Patch, because I want to actually tap into my local market, he was like, but you're trying to go fishing in a pond when you can go fishing in the ocean, kind of thing. Where, so I'm like, okay, I understand what he was trying to say, but I'm like, if I spend the same money on the Stratford Patch as against the same money on his MSN and all these websites that he says I can pop up in, what would you recommend? Because I really would love to focus on my local market. But again, a lot of people all over the country search the local, go to Google and search for florist and Stratford.
Well, can you sell digitally, or you can only sell locally? That's the big question.
Oh, no, I can sell anywhere.
Okay.
I'm nationwide. I mean, I'm a website. I have the website and everything, so you can do, I do have, unfortunately, wire services too, but
I'm a big believer in having two separate strategies for that. I think you have to have a national strategy digitally, and then you have to have a local strategy that's integrated with not only the digital world, but on the ground kind of advertising marketing. Here's where I'm still a believer in some kind of print ads once in a while. Or I'm not a big believer in mail ads, mail stuff. I just don't think direct mail works that great anymore, except for certain things. But I think you need a defined strategy of maybe having Facebook ads. Facebook ads, for example, are great if you can really target a location and the people. Facebook ads are horrible if you can't target. Don't bother doing a Facebook ad if you can't target people, because you're going to waste a lot of money. In your case, local businesses, I feel, can really leverage Facebook ads, for example, for a really inexpensive amount, because you're location-based and you're talking about a 30-mile circumference kind of thing, and it's easy to target. But I think you kind of have to have a kind of a twofold strategy for that you have to implement. You guys?
What,
I agree, totally. I think you need to do two as well. Because if you're going to be local and then you're going to go out, I would do two separate things. That's what I do for my business. Because I can service anybody,
Right.
but yet I really focus on local, Fairfield County. So I would be able to do both. He's right. Whoever told you that is correct.
well, I'm hearing what you're asking differently. You want to say something first?
Right, I was asking, because I was thinking I can only afford X amount, and I want to tap into my local market, so I'm going to go to Stratford Patch, which is local, it's all 40,000 local people, or whatever that is, so they're going to be seeing me.
Right, but so
I think that's the way to start.
what I'm hearing from this, the way I'm looking at it is, okay, so a placed ad versus search. Pay-per-click is really, you're paying to be in the search engines, and when you're doing that, you're targeting people that are already looking for flowers.
Right.
If somebody shows up on Patch.com, just like on
It's not
Facebook ads,
targeted.
they're doing what
It's
they're
not
doing,
targeted, right.
and
Who
it's a
knows what they're
peripheral,
for.
like maybe they see it, maybe they don't.
Right.
So to me, if you have the budget, I always tell small local businesses, local or not, small business who have a limited budget, take your money and put it into the search engines, either creating content to show up organically or paying to show up, because people are coming there, they're looking for something. You have you have an audience that wants flowers. When you're doing the ads, you need so many more impressions to get an ROI. And if you have the money, then you do the ads too. That's how I look.
Yeah, if you're on a budget, I always say start local.
So-
Because you're advocates, because people that can see you and meet you, they eventually become your advocates on social media.
But she's talking search engine, pay-per-click versus an
Right.
ad on the Patch.com.
Right, yeah. I'd rather go pay-per-click. I mean, honestly, yeah.
Because you're
I'd
going to
agree
get
with
more
that.
people that are looking for flowers rather than anybody
Right.
in Stratford, just browsing the Stratford Patch for news.
You need to have a kick-ass deal
Right.
to get people to actually click on it. People are going to read the patch, and they're going to see your thing, and they're like, yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
And they're not going to click on it.
Because what I was thinking about is, with the patch, if they see, they go on there for news or whatever, but they're going to see, because there are 4 other flower shops in Stratford.
Right.
So they're going to keep seeing, going for the Gibson flowers, going for the Gibson flowers. So when they need the flower, then that's the name that will come to their mind, because they see it so many times.
Yeah.
Secondly, if there was an article that the patch did when I opened up, new flower shop, blah, 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 and someone actually came into the shop one morning to get flowers for his anniversary and said he saw, he went to another flower shop and they never had it. And then he remembered he saw the article on Stratford Patch and he came there and bought the flowers. So I didn't pay for that, but I'm just saying,
Earned.
he saw that article and that's how he ended up coming to the shop to get flowers. So,
You're better off, though, if you have a budget, is to target people who are actively searching for you
Right,
than
so
to
go to
worry
the
about...
Backlinks.
Yeah, you're not in that, I don't think you're in that case of having to build brand awareness as much as you need to have people come in and spend money so that you can start building brand awareness more and nationally and things like that, so.
Okay, let's move to Dan in the back. Dan?
Dan,
Bill, yeah, you made an interesting philosophical statement in your introduction, which I'd like you to elaborate on a little bit, if you don't mind. You said that you no longer are looking at ROI as the key performance indicator for social media, which has obviously always been the struggle. So you're looking more at a well-rounded, almost like a media mix now. Can you elaborate on a little bit more specific on what
Sure.
you're doing?
well, I'll give you an example. And I'm hoping this isn't a shock, not every business is going to find an ROI in social media. It's as simple as that. I'll have to say that probably 70% of my clients make an ROI where they're actually bringing money in. The 30% other are never going to make a dime using social media. It's as simple as that. their ROI I define differently. It's more along the lines, kind of what you said. It's more brand awareness. It's more advocacy. It's more using it for customer relations. It's using it as like a CRM type of tool. So when you start looking at social media and how years ago everybody was always like, we got to get on social media because we're going to increase sales, we're going to do all that stuff. And I was in that kind of old school too, where every business I really felt like I can use social media to make you money. I can do this and everything else. But the reality of it is that people aren't going to make buying decisions based on social media a lot of times. A guy who charges people $30,000 to resurface an in-ground pool is not going to make a buying decision based on a Facebook post or based on their Facebook presence. It's still going to be a human reaction or an interaction with that. However, the ability to stay in touch with that person long term, the ability that once you're done with the job, that person could come to your social media and say, what a great job you guys did, or stuff like that. That's when it starts building upon what you're doing in social. So ROI is still a definition that I still like to use, and it's what I always push for. The reality is that I'm upfront with a lot of clients, a lot more now, saying, I don't foresee increasing sales, but this is going to be our strategy. And again, back to what I said earlier, this is why a strategy is imperative as well. Is if you understand what the goals are that you're going to use social media for, any marketing, advertising, well, obviously we're talking about social. If you understand what the goals are, you can better then direct what you're doing on that platform to achieve those goals rather than being very broad scope. And thank you for allowing me to wax philosophical there. Anybody else you guys want to chime in on that too?
I want to elaborate on that a little bit. When I have clients that are on a smaller scale than Bill's, and a lot of times they will say to me, well, how many clients am I going to get? I have my Facebook pages up. Okay, calm down. It's going to happen, but like Bill said, if you don't really have the income or the resources to invest a little bit in targeted ads, in doing some of those strategies, to invest a little bit, you really need to focus on brand awareness. That's what social media is going to do for you. That's your ROI. It's getting out there. It's showing that you're credible. It's being active. It's that so people see it and come and try a workout class. That's going to be your ROI. That's going to be what you're focusing on. So I agree.
Does that kind of answer what you were?
Yeah, absolutely. That's good stuff. I got one more. Mike, maybe you could take the lead on this one. This is another one of these hot topics that everybody talks about today, and it's almost like chasing, the golden nugget, and that's creating a viral video. So
you can't do that.
They want that viral, hit. So
yeah,
that's your industry. Obviously, it's very difficult to create a viral video. But what would you say to someone in trying to get started creating that? What do you do? What are you looking for? What are you trying to do to create something that's going to maybe have, it's like a lottery ticket, right? Maybe has a chance of going viral.
I would have to interject really quick before Mike has a serious answer. Have the president of your company twerk. And just start off there's your viral video, but go ahead.
Well, actually, I think to have any good shot at it, I'll give you a couple things that you can do to maybe not just go viral, but to just get some momentum. But before I get into that, there's a realtor down in, I think it's DC, and she did a video where her and her friends were singing, spoofing "Call Me Maybe."
Oh, yeah.
That whatever her name was.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Carly Joe Repson or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so, if you're number one, you got to make it funny and entertaining. Because the thing is, even if your target market, even if somebody that you want to buy your product, you need to make it funny for everybody so people will just pass it around, whether they're in the market for your product or not. That's what I'm getting at. So if you can find a way to target, piggyback off of trending keywords, that's a great way. So if your title has your subject matter and it's got Miley Cyrus in it somehow, if you could somehow tie it in and make it work, and that's totally stupid, then you get that video can show up in the search engines for that hot topic. But the things that I go through with the plain old boring business videos is it's not boring to the people that are interested in that subject matter, number one. Because I do a lot of content videos. I'm not making commercials so much as, how-tos or FAQ type videos. But little things like proper optimization, naming the file with your keywords in it, and don't make it like abc1004.mov, you like the file name from your camera. You want to actually name things with the keywords. And a little thing, if you can get as many people to watch it in the first 24 to 48 hours as possible, you're going to get it a much better chance of getting momentum in YouTube.
Right.
In other words, post it strategically. Post it on a time of day when you can do an e-blast to support it and get all of your base to watch it and like it. That'll give you some momentum.
And that goes back to analytics again. If you think about it, you create this video. If you don't know the best days and times to post, because he's 100% right. I think they look at the first 36, 48 hours.
You're looking to
of the
see,
video,
are they going to make it a recommended video?
Right. So what ends up happening is if you don't know your analytics and you have this video and you decide to do it at Monday afternoon at 2 o'clock, but your highest audience peak is actually Thursday at 6 o'clock or something, you just missed the boat of maybe potentially having a viral video because you weren't reading your analytics or you weren't understanding when to put it out there. Let's not make a mistake here. You can't make anything go viral. And if anybody ever comes to you and says, for $2,000 I can make this viral video for you, turn around and walk out, because viral happens by accident. You can increase your chances of having good content and hopefully making something go viral, but nobody can promise you that anything can go viral. It's just not realistic.
So the question is, what's the best way to get new likes
Right.
on Facebook? What's the best
I
one?
like to do that one.
There's a couple of things. First of all, I want to backtrack a little bit. Likes aren't as important as other analytics such as reach and engagement. There's so many pages I know that have 10,000 likes, but when you look at it, like in our talking about this number of people actually engage, there's like 8 people talking on a page. So likes are important because it helps with a little bit of viral activity. What really counts is engagement. How to get more likes, how to get more targeted likes is really the question that we want to ask here, is how do we get more people who are going to like our page, who may make a buying decision, who will become advocates. And I believe a lot of the likes really come from having good informational or entertaining content that you put out there. That elicits more likes of people that coming in. Now, make no mistake, more likes obviously means more reach, and you may hit that friend of somebody. This person who liked your page may not need your product or service, but they have a friend who happens to. And this is why engagement is really important, because a like notifies everybody one time, or a follow, but if that person continually engages with you, they're constantly sending out signals to all their friends, family, associations. So my opinion on it is to get more likes or more qualified likes is to have good content put out there on a continual basis that's informational, entertaining, and what your target audience needs to engage with.
Last word, Mike? Did you comment?
You got something to say?
Cindy, last
Yeah,
word?
to add to that, a couple of years ago, everybody was like, get, as many Facebook likes as you can. Buy them for 50 cents. Remember
Oh,
that?
God.
Oh, God.
Now those
And they
pages are dead.
And they were bots. And they were, meaning that they were empty profiles that, the person's name was Peanut Butter.
Right.
Okay? The point is, great, okay, you have 10,000 likes for your page, but there's crickets on the page. If you look at the posts, no one's talking, no one's saying anything, there's no engagement. What's the point? It's better to have quality people who care about your product or your service rather than 10,000 and no one's talking. And another thing too is, what happened was Facebook went in and started cleaning all those likes out. And so my client said, well, what happened to my likes? They're all gone. I said, Facebook caught up with you. And I told you not to buy them.
Right.
What do you want me to tell you? But Bill is right. It's good content. It's consistency. It's interesting questions. It's talking to people and always respond. People want, we're in the age of we want instant gratification. Somebody comments on your Facebook post, don't wait till Thursday if it's today. You need to respond tonight, but anyway,
You don't
Very
buy
true.
likes. To be a little geeky on you, Facebook has an algorithm in the background called EdgeRank. It's actually called something else now. But what EdgeRank does is it looks at how many likes you're on your page, it looks at the engagement of that page, and if Facebook comes across in the algorithm that you have a lot of likes but very little engagement, your content will not be shown to people, and it starts devaluing your page. So you're spending money to actually hurt yourself with likes. Never buy likes, never buy follows, never do anything. Do things organically.
Absolutely.
Well, if you liked this panel presentation, join me in a round of applause.